Over the last 7 years, I've been adding plants happily. But this year, I stood in the middle of my yard and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, when is it too much? Is there such a thing as decluttering in the garden? Can you have too many plants? And have I created a whole lot of work for myself? And now I'm basically forced to keep up with it. Don't get it wrong though, I still love gardening and I still want a beautiful backyard. I just think there's gotta be a smarter, less overwhelming way to do this. Because this spring was rough. It took me 2 weeks just to clear out the side yard. And I'm at a point in my life where I want to do other things like travel, visit with friends and family. I want it all. Why not? But meanwhile, trust me, when I finished, I was determined that this was going to change. These are Mexican heather. I like them a lot in the summer, but in the winter, they really turn ugly. What I have noticed is that perennials that die down and then come back up sometimes get to make a lot of trash. In my area, Mexican heather survives and they brown, and you're supposed to keep the browning until spring. That just seems like a lot of months of ugliness. So I'm really considering changing this out, even though my husband says he loves Mexican heather. Mm-mm. Let's look at my front yard, for example. This is an evergreen, beautiful, easy to maintain area. It has Nandina firepower, which has a little bit of red in it. And then in front of it is Liriope, which also gives a little purple flower, but it's so much easier to maintain. Next to that Mexican heather was also another diva. This is native hibiscus. And while I love it and it is beautiful, it can become a beast. I mean, it gets huge, probably, I don't know, 8 feet sometimes. And it has a beautiful, huge flower, but it was starting to cover the window and the roots were really going deep. So I knew I had to move it. I procrastinated about this for the longest time because those roots are big. And I just got someone to help me out. And guess what? It got done. So what we did is we swapped the roses with the native hibiscus. The native hibiscus went back to the shed where it can grow as big as it wants. It's not really going to damage anything. And the roses can go in the area where they get more sun and we can actually see when they flower. So that swap is going to give me less headache next year. And I can see the roses from the dining window too. Can we talk about weeds? Because I think that is by far my biggest frustration. I tried 2 different types of weeding hose. One was a rectangular one and then a triangular one. And both of them felt like really hard work. But then I found a hula hoe. The guy that was helping me used to be a landscaper, and he told me this is exactly what they used for big landscaping jobs. And sure enough, this thing is completely a game changer. You might have already seen me with some cardboard, and whenever I use it, it lasts me 1 year without so many weeds. Will I get weeds? Yes, of course. You always get weeds on top of your barrier. Plastic is not meant for our plants. It depletes the soil of its nutrients. It makes it get really hot. It makes everything underneath stink. You still get weeds on top and they're even harder to get out. I hate it. So cardboard it is for me and it works. It's easy to shape up and it, breaks down into the soil. Now, if you're wondering why I had so many weeds on this side yard, it's because I didn't put cardboard last year. I was too tired and I didn't care as much about the side yard, and here I am cleaning it up. You can tell closest to the plant is where the weeds are coming out because there's no cardboard here. So wherever there's no cardboard, that's where weeds will appear. I've significantly reduced weeds by the use of cardboard, but you can't get rid of all of them. So the next idea is to make sure I keep up with the weeds and don't let them win over me. And in looking at these Mexican heathers, I think I should just keep the best ones and either give away some of the other ones or maybe put them in a pot. I don't know. These kind of lilies really brown ugly in the winter and they spread quite a bit. So I think these are best in pots. The idea is to always have it in maintenance mode. That way it's not hard when you get out there, not like how it was for me this spring. Let me show you another area of the yard where I usually have a hot mess. It's the loquat. I made a video where I romanticized it so much, but I do love it for the fruit and everything. It's evergreen. I love it. But this is what I get to do every single spring. Now, I'm not about to get rid of one of my favorite trees just because it's messy. I've been trying to figure out how to make it easy on myself. The loquat also drops seedlings, and then you'll have all these little baby loquats. So I decided to add these stepping stones, knowing that the seeds can't grow on top of these. And if you have ideas on how to tackle this, please let me know. Just remember that I do have leaves that drop consistently and I need to be able to rake them or blow them really easily. In other areas of the garden, I'm just expanding it and making it look pretty. I've always wondered if I needed a edging tool, like one of those manual edgers that you can step on. So this is supposed to be I guess it's just called an edger. I call it a wedger. And so it's like a pogo stick. You can get on here on one foot or both feet. Get to it. I don't know. I always do it with my shovel, but if you have one, will you tell me if that will be so much easier for me? I would really appreciate it. Have you ever heard of a hori hori knife? I mean, this is a really good tool to have in your backyard. It can help you to do a lot of things when you are trying to divide plants, when you're cleaning them up, if you want to measure. I mean, that hori hori knife is pretty badass. Here's another beautiful messy plant.
You may have heard about papyrus because the Egyptians made it famous because that's how they used to make paper. This is kind of a high maintenance plant because of its growth habit.
And I've learned my lesson with the papyrus. I used to have it out in the yard, planted in the ground, but it can grow and expand. Even though it's not invasive, it is aggressive, and I made a whole video about it. I have several high maintenance plants in the yard and I love them, so I'm willing to put up with them, but I have my limits. Like this one goes in a pot. The canna lilies go in a pot. The lemongrass gets to be in an area where it can look ugly if I don't get to it in time. And as I was making and editing this video, I realized, geez, we have so many tasks to do in our yard, both my husband and I. But you know, we both enjoy our backyard and our whole entire yard. At the end of the day, I just want a space that feels like a retreat, not a second job. And this year, I think I finally found the balance. This is a sienna tree. And in the winter, when everything else is super dead, this has beautiful yellow flowers. So I guess I just get to be picky about what stays and what goes. The biggest problem with my home, inside and out in the garden, is that something always needs to be fixed. And that can get overwhelming. I've been analyzing what's going on, and I think that my biggest problem is that my home always has felt like it was in the state of almost. There was always another project, another corner to fix, another thing waiting for me. So I started making a few simple changes that helped me stop collecting unfinished projects and actually enjoy my home and my garden again. And I wrote those ideas down in a free guide called The Season of Completion. If you're anything like me and you're tired of feeling like your home is one never-ending to-do list, I'll leave it linked below and you can download it for free. You know, at the end of the day, it's not about getting rid of everything that requires maintenance. It's just that you have to minimize. Here I have foundational plants. I have the evergreen trees with things that, need a little bit of maintenance. But when too many things that need maintenance come together, that's when it becomes chaotic. It's the balance of the two. I think in the backyard overall, I'm doing an okay job. I'm looking around thinking, no, I got it. I got it. The weeds is by far the one thing I have to keep up with. I'm going to commit to like 15 minutes a day during the times that I can to go out there and like tackle a different area at a time so that not everything happens at once and I'm completely exhausted from it. There is yard work that has to be done every single year. And if you're not okay with that, you probably shouldn't even get into it. But the rewards that come out of gardening are huge. And I just don't think that I could live without gardening. And remember that you can create bliss at home, in the garden, and in your life. I'll talk to you later.